Alright everyone, so I'm a big fan of Disney movies and there's a lot of Disney live action films I haven't seen, but thanks to Goodwill, 5 for $1 VHS tapes, I got The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, which is a movie that probably many people have not heard of. It's a Disney movie, see it says Disney right there, but this is probably one of those movies that nobody's really heard of unless they go hardcore into Disney like live action films, because there are a lot of them, and I mean a lot that I have not seen live action wise. I mean, I've seen the big ones, of course, but like, there's a lot that Disney made that I want to see and I want to explore, because this one in particular was very much of its time. This is a very obviously a 1960s movie. It opens with this opening song that's very 1960s, and it, in a way, like, I really enjoyed seeing this as a time capsule of a movie because it's very dated. It's a very dated movie. Very 60s. And Kurt Russell is in this movie too, a young Kurt Russell who plays this character named Dexter, which he and his friends get this computer to upset the dean of this college. Like, they just want to upset him because, like, he's kind of a jerk. And they get the computer, and we get this weird full explanation of a boring explanation of how the computer works because it's the 1960s, and it's, again, it's really interesting to see because it's so boring, but it's interesting to see that, like, they describe what a computer is in this time because that's what people would expect in that time. So I thought that was really cool. Even though it was a boring scene, like, it was legitimately boring with the character saying, oh, this is what a computer does, this is how it works. But still, I thought that it's still an interesting time capsule of a thing to watch, like, just from the 60s. And here's where it gets really kooky, guys, really kooky for a 60s Disney movie. So Dexter, it's raining outside, and Dexter goes in to mess with the computer, but he's wet, and he touches the computer cords, and it shocks him to where he like gets shocked holding the computer cords. And then, oh my god, this moment happens where these characters check inside of his ear with that thing where you look, like, you zoom in and look inside of something, where they zoom inside of his ear, and literally inside of his ear is computer parts, because he's a human on the outside, but he has become a super genius with the computer's abilities embedded in him. So it shows the zoom in inside of his ear, and it's just like computer parts, and that's that's hilarious, and how it's obviously of its time, because they do that in a way where a lot of these movies like this do something similar, where it's like, oh, you see computer parts inside of a guy's ear, so it implies that he has gained computer abilities and computer knowledge, but it's just very silly. But I lost it when that scene happened. I was like, what? Are you serious? But then I thought, oh, it is of this time. It's this kind of movie that would do that thing, so I just thought that was really funny. And the movie overall is very hokey, but in a way that wasn't super entertaining. Like, there were moments that were alright, but overall, besides, like, the ending chase, which was really fun, I don't know, like, there wasn't much else that really made me cling on to this to love this movie. Like, I thought Kurt Russell was fine, and all these other people who I don't know their names for are fine. It's just a very dated movie in a way where you look at it from now, like, nowadays, you look at this film and think, oh, this is immediately dated, and it is. With the computer explanations and with the silly ways of, like, him becoming a super genius because he got shocked while holding computer cords. Like, he can say anything, he's a super genius, he knows everything now. But I mean, I didn't dislike the movie. I just thought it's a very interesting time capsule of a thing where, like, you see this is how people interpreted computers, and how they interpreted at this time, and how they interpret a fun, zany movie. And it's just really zany and over the top, and in a way where I thought it was fine, but it's not anything that's very memorable to me. Like, nothing really stuck out to it besides the fact that it was silly because it was from the 1960s. But again, that's a cool way of for me, just seeing Disney's kind of history with these live action movies where, yeah, they're dated, but they're interesting because they do have, this one did have some charm to it. Not a whole lot, but it did have a little bit of charm to it. So overall, I did like parts of it, but other parts were just really boring. It was a very mixed bag because it was not very interesting to watch, but it's interesting in the fact of the history of Disney films. So I'm glad I saw it, but it's not one that I will really watch again. But I didn't expect to. I just thought it was an alright, silly time from the 60s. But I had fun. It was okay. So overall, I did think alright about this movie. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was great. It was just in the middle, just alright. So, tell me down below if any of you have ever watched this movie. And if you have, tell me what you think. I just have never heard of it until now. So, thanks guys so much for watching, and take care.